Welcome, partners and colleagues from across the globe. My name is Andrew Nelson, and I joined Gurtam's Boston team in February of this year. It has been a great honor to work with our wonderful partners across the United States and Canada, and I hope to meet many of you from our vibrant Wialon Partners community in the future. Today, I'll be presenting our second quarter updates and new features for Wialon Hosting, Wialon Mobile, Nimbus, Fleetrun, Logistics, and my.gurtam.com. It is important to note that I will not be covering every single update from the second quarter, as that would likely take several hours, but instead will highlight only the key updates. I expect this presentation to last approximately 30 to 35 minutes. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat, and also make sure that all panelists and attendees is selected. My colleagues Kate and Coven will monitor the chat and do their best to help answer your questions as we move along. The first update has to do with some subtle but positive changes to our user interface, resulting in an overall cleaner look. And I heard from a few partners right away when this improvement went live, and they found this to be a welcome development. If you remember, there used to be vertical dividing lines on the top navigation panel, so those have been removed. The layouts for the work list, bottom information panel, and dialog boxes have also seen some understated enhancements that cumulatively lead to a more updated look and feel. And I anticipate that we'll continue to take additional steps in this direction. Next, we're going to take a look at a number of updates related to geofences and geofence reports. I'll show you some screenshots first, and then I'll also demonstrate these updates live in Wialon. Now, when you create a geofence, it is shown on the map immediately. Previously, you would have to navigate to the new geofence on the list and select it before it would show on the map, so this saves an extra step. Next, stacked or overlapping geofences are now better arranged to improve their visibility on the map. In this before screenshot, you can see how messy it could look when geofences of various types and sizes were located in the same area. Now, if you look at the after screenshot, overlapping geofences are more easily identifiable. Line geofences will always be higher than other geofence types, and large circle or polygon geofences will always be located below smaller ones. The next update includes numerous enhancements to geofence and group of geofences reports. This slide gives you an overview, and I'll go over each new feature in more detail, but essentially there are more than 20 new sensor value columns, a new column for trailers, several new filters, and then a new geofence column for the group of geofences report. These enhancements will help make these reports more informative and user-friendly. First, I have screenshots here showing the reports I'm talking about, geofence and group of geofences. These are the reports where the new sensor value columns will appear, as well as the trailer column. Here you can see that I highlighted what an earlier incarnation of geofence report columns would have looked like. Now, if you look at the after screenshot, you'll see a laundry list of new sensors, as well as that trailer column, plus several more if you continue to scroll down. The new sensors include average, minimum, maximum, initial, and final temperatures, average and maximum speed, initial and final counter, and many more that I'll point out when I demonstrate in Wialon. Another geofence report enhancement includes the addition of new filters for both geofence and group of geofences reports. These filters include duration, mileage, speed range, stops, parkings, driver, and trailer. Finally, we now have a new column for the group of geofences reports called Geofence. That might sound strange, but this is necessary so the user can understand which geofences the specified intervals belong to. Now, let's take a look at those geofence updates in Wialon. So let's go up to the beautiful province of Quebec, and we're going to go to the Geofences tab, and we're just going to create a basic polygon geofence, and I'll show you how it renders immediately. So here we have one. We're going to click Save, and it automatically renders right on the map. You don't have to go back to the list and click on the geofence that you just created. So that was the first update. The second update we'll do is to show the stacked or overlapping geofences. So we're going to come to my home island, the Portuguese island of Madeira, where my grandparents were born, off the coast of Morocco. And what we'll start here, we'll begin with a line geofence. We'll make it blue. And you can see the basic line geofence there. Next, we'll click Save. And now I'll create a circle geofence. We'll start with a red one. We'll make it fairly small. Let's see. Red. Increase the radius a little bit. Not that much. We'll try 5,000 feet. Okay, perfect. We'll click Save. And you see that the line instantly came above that, but now watch what will happen when we do another circle geofence. We'll make this yellow, and we'll make this 30,000 feet in radius. We'll put it right here, and what's going to happen is the smaller circle and the line geofence will come to the front after I click Save. Save, and there you have it. So now we can continue. If we want to do a larger polygon geofence, let's create a polygon. We'll make it purple, and we'll make it bigger than everything. And what's going to happen is this geofence will go to the bottom. Press Save, and you see there it goes to the bottom. The line, smaller circles are on top, and larger items will always be on the bottom. So those are the new geofence enhancements. Next thing I will show you are the enhancements to the reports. So we're going to go to the reports. We have a basic geofence report here. I'm going to click on the properties, and I'm going to click on the table properties here, and you'll see the columns. So these were the original columns, the unit, driver, time, and timeout, the basic columns. But as I scroll down, and once we get to initial and final counter, you see all the new columns here: the temperatures, speed, the trailer column, fuel consumption, etc. Over 20 columns have been added. Next, if we go to the settings, we'll show you the filtration. So now we have this intervals filtration, duration, mileage, speed range, stops, parkings, driver, and trailer. The next one I want to show you is the group of geofences report. So if we take a look at this, we have the new geofence column. So what will happen is I'll show you what this would look like without it, and then I'll show you with the new column. So let's go do a group of geofences report for Boston. We'll do it for the month to make sure we get enough data. This might take a couple seconds so we can get all of the visits into our Boston geofences. Okay, so we see 1,970 visits. So when you click down, you'll see all our units here, time in, time out, but you don't see where they were going in and out of. So now if we go back to the column, we go to click on the geofence column, the new column, press OK. We're going to execute the report again. And now when we click on a unit, we have the list of what geofences you would time in, time out. Boston area, Gurtam office, and you can scroll to Logan Airport. So this makes it much easier to clarify now which geofences. So we'll go back and we're going to continue with a couple more hosting updates. First, with the redesign of the calculator that appears in most report tables. Previously, the calculator button was near the top of table properties. Now it's at the bottom, and the formula space has been optimized so that there's more room for long or complicated formulas, and the entire formula will be shown regardless of its length. We also added a converter to the calculator so that you can get the duration values in more user-friendly formats. For example, instead of seeing 480 seconds as a duration, you can now include the conversion so the report would show 8 minutes instead of 480 seconds. This screenshot shows the formula possibilities, including 4 new additions for report time intervals and days, hours, beginning, and end. The final Wialon hosting update I want to mention is the ability to search by phone number. For those who might have a large number of units in the work list, you can now just type or copy a phone number into the search box at the top of the page, and the corresponding unit will pop up. So now I'll demonstrate these in Wialon. Okay, we're going to go to clear these reports out, and we're going to go to a basic trip report. And so you see here at the bottom, add calculator. So we're just going to show the beginning and initial location, final location, and mileage. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a calculator, and we're just going to say C1 minus C0. And we're going to put total time. And we're going to show you without conversion. So we're going to save, hit OK, OK. We'll do this unit for yesterday. And you'll see here, this unit was 79,270 seconds for a total time yesterday. So obviously that sounds crazy, which is why we included the new converter. So if we go back into the settings here, and we go down into the calculator, and we have this new conversion box. So now we're going to do duration format, and we're going to convert this. So when we click OK, OK, and we execute for yesterday, now we have the total time was 22 hours, 1 minute, and 10 seconds. And that's because the unit started its first trip at 12:55 a.m. and didn't end until 10:56 p.m. And so what I'll show you next is a different formula. We go back, we're going to delete that. We'll include duration, and we're going to add calculator again. And this time, we're going to use one of the new report interval formulas. So we'll do hours. And so because we're going to measure some duration, and we're doing report interval hours, what we need to do is multiply by a constant 3600. There are 3,600 seconds in an hour. And so we're going to subtract the duration, which was C10, as we can see there. And we're going to call this unit not moving. First, I'll show you without the conversion. So basically what we're doing is the report interval, which is 24 hours, and we're going to subtract the duration. And so that should give us when the unit was not moving for yesterday. So I'm going to click Save, OK, OK. We'll do yesterday. And we see that large number again, 78,302. So that is seconds. So what we do, go back, and we go down to the conversion. We're going to convert duration format. Click OK. Execute for yesterday. And here you see the unit was not moving for 21 hours, 45 minutes, and 2 seconds. We know this is correct because the duration of that unit's trips yesterday was 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 58 seconds. You add those two together, you get the report interval of 24 hours. Finally, I want to show you the search by the phone number. So I do have a phone number copied in here. And when I go in the search box, search the phone number, the unit automatically pops up. You can also go into the unit properties, and you see the phone number listed there. Next, I want to share a few Wialon Mobile updates with you. We now have the ignition time on the History tab. So, if a unit already has trips for a certain day, you will see the ignition listed in the parking section. For this screenshot here, you can see that the unit was parked for 42 minutes, but the ignition was on for 13 of those 42 minutes. This other screenshot shows a stationary unit with no trips. So in this case, you'll see the ignition time displayed instead of the usual trips history. Our next mobile update includes the ability to create a geofence directly on the map instead of needing the several clicks previously necessary to navigate to the geofences section and create one from there. All it takes is a long tap on the map. You'll first see the Create Geofence dialog, and then you'll name the geofence, customize the color, description, visibility, hit the check mark at the top right-hand corner, and that's it. This is especially helpful if you need to create a geofence right where a unit is currently located on the map. Finally, we have another feature involving the use of a long tap, and that is the ability to copy a notification to the clipboard, which you can then send wherever you want. This essentially saves you the time of creating and sending a screenshot to a driver or a colleague. When you long tap the specific notification you want to copy, you'll see a green confirmation notice at the top. The text that's copied is exactly the same as shown in the notification. So you can now see my mobile screen. And so the first thing I'll do, I'll show you, I'm going to select this unit. And I'm going to go back to a time where the unit was parked, but the ignition was on. You can see here, 42 minutes parked, 13 minutes ignition was on. So this is the new feature here. If I go back and find a different unit that had no trips, but the unit was on, let's see, we'll go back to July 9th or July 11th. Here we go. 6 hours and 6 minutes. So no trips, but the ignition was on, and this is how it'll show in that situation. The next thing we'll do is we're going to go to the map. We'll zoom in. Let's see, Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple, home of Kansas State University. And we'll create a long tap on the screen, and the Create Geofence comes up. So once you click on that, you name it, K-State, save, and then you can customize the color, description, visibility, and if you were saving it, you would click the check mark in the top right-hand corner. So we're not going to save that one, but we also go to notifications, and let's see, if we want to do this notification right here, if we want to copy the notification, long tap. Up here, you'll see the confirmation copy to the clipboard, and then you can send it wherever you want. So if we go back to the presentation, I'm going to show you some nice Nimbus updates. First, we have a redesign of the dashboard featuring clickable blocks of information sorted into rides, online, stops, and routes. When you click on one of the filters, it takes you directly to the corresponding page with the filter already applied. As you saw in the previous dashboard screenshot, there are new ride filters, active and overlapping rides. There are also now 5 new online filters to help you quickly spot any issues. The new filters include all rides, ahead of schedule, behind schedule, with no unit, and no show. The next feature is the ability to associate units with multiple or all routes. You can access this through the Select Items box, where you will select the routes right here and then click on the Associate Units icon. After clicking that Associate Units icon, you'll be shown a list of all your units or unit groups, which you can then quickly associate with the previously selected routes. The warning message will pop up to make sure that you want to complete this action. This new feature will help save time if you're later assigning units to a ride, because the system will offer the units associated with this route above all the other depot units. Finally, you can now use coordinates to create a stop on the stops page. Previously, you could only use an actual address. We have the coordinates here for the beautiful Malopatas Beach and Ios in the Greek islands. And I'll show you now live in Nimbus these new features. So here we have the dashboard. You can see the rides, online, stops, and routes. These are all clickable. The filters will apply. So if we want to look at the active now and the rides, go click on it, and we see the 3 active rides. You can see the filters here, all rides, active now, overlapping, and with no unit. If I come back to the dashboard, we have the online filters. I want to look at the 2 that are behind schedule. Just click it, and we see the units that are behind schedule. So you can also have all, ahead of schedule, behind schedule, with no unit, and no show. Also, this drop down, you can select the transport that you're looking for. If we go to the routes, this is where we can show the Associate Units feature. We click on Select Items. Here we only have 2 routes, but we'll select all. And then we click on this associate units with the routes. Now all your units and unit groups will pop up. So let's just select a couple here, or we'll select 3 of them, click save, and the warning message will pop up. So are you sure you want to associate the selected units with the routes? And these units or unit groups associated with these routes before will be replaced with these new ones. So we're not going to save it here, but that's how you would do that. Finally, in the stops, we now have the coordinate search. So I have some coordinates already here. I'm going to put the coordinates in, and here we are at the Grand Prismatic Spring in Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming. So we can create a circle stop. We're going to call it Grand Prismatic Spring, Yellowstone National Park. We're going to make this a bus stop, 40 meters radius, save, and now we have our stop here at Yellowstone. If we want to delete it, just click on it, delete, very easy. So now we have a few Fleetrun updates. The main Fleetrun update this quarter includes the addition of custom fields for service objects of the unit type. This is available through the administration settings. Up to 3 custom fields can be created. So for example, if you wanted to include a field for the auto shop or an invoice number or maybe the name of the mechanic, you can also choose if you'd rather have just text or a list. After you save those custom fields, when you create a new service, these custom fields will then appear at the bottom of the new services page. These custom fields will also show up in your reports as the last checkboxes on the list. Finally, for Fleetrun, we added a new language, Italian, molto bene. You can change the language easily in the user settings. I also saw this as an opportunity to include a photo of my 4-year-old niece, Olivia Grace, who lives just outside Milano in the suburb of Cesano Maderno. And she has a positive message for all of us during these crazy times. Andrà tutto bene, everything's going to be all right. So let's check out Fleetrun. This is the main dashboard. We're going to click over here in the administration and select custom fields. Right now we have no custom fields, so we're going to do a new configuration. First one I'm going to do is repair shop. It's going to be a text. And save. Next one we're going to do is invoice number. We're going to save that. And then finally we'll do mechanic. And for this we'll do a list. First value I'll add is Kim. Next I'll do Chloe. And then Courtney, our favorite mechanics. Click save. So now we have our custom fields, 3, which is the maximum. We're now going to go to services, and we're going to create a service. So we'll make it due, click on due, we'll make it due tomorrow, click save, name, which is going to be demo test. It's going to be a unit service object type, and we're going to select a unit here. We'll select this one. We already have the mileage and engine hours already populated. So now we have these custom fields here at the bottom. So invoice number, we'll do 8675309. Mechanic today is going to be Chloe. And for the repair shop, we'll do Azarenka Auto Body in honor of the great tennis player Vika. And then we're going to click Create Service. Service has been created. So now we can go into reports. And we'll do a report showing, including these custom fields. So we'll say do, we're going to execute. So here's our demo test service. If we scroll to the right, we see our repair shop, invoice number, and mechanic all here at the end. If you click on this box, you see the columns you can choose. Our custom fields are at the bottom, repair shop, invoice number, and mechanic. Finally, I'll go into the user settings You can see the language. Now you can change that, scroll down. We have many languages here, and you see Italiano. So finally, we have a couple of logistics updates. Most importantly, we are now actively developing logistics again and have dedicated resources to improving logistics. So you should see a number of interesting updates in the near future. The feature called Not to Confirm Orders Outside the Radius was previously to help combat delivery drivers who were confirming orders without being inside the order radius. That master setting is shown in the order parameters settings screenshot here. Now we have that same option here in the new order settings. If a driver tries to confirm an order while outside the radius and the dispatcher had the checkbox selected, he will see the message on his phone shown here, unable to change status. The final logistics update deals with the addition of the arrival time column. Now the arrival time option is available for all 4 logistics reports: unit, driver, unit group, and driver group. This column provides the time when the courier entered the order radius. So you can use this column to compare with the actual arrival time column and see if there's any discrepancy between what the courier confirmed and when he entered the order radius. So let's go into logistics. If we go into the settings here, you scroll down to order parameters, you see the radius in feet, and you have that button Not to Confirm Orders Outside the Radius. So when this is checked, when you go over to a new order, planning a new order, it's automatically checked here in the new order. If it was unchecked in the settings, this would be unchecked. You'll see the radius here. So that's the new feature there. As far as the reports, if we click on reports and you click on the columns here, you see all of possible columns. We have arrival time and actual arrival time here. We're gonna choose the object delivery scooter. We're gonna go back to May. Execute this report. And so you'll see the arrival time when the courier actually entered the order radius versus when the actual arrival time when the courier confirmed. So there would normally probably be a discrepancy here. This is a simulator, so you won't see the discrepancy right now, but this is a helpful tool to analyze when there is any kind of discrepancy between what the courier is saying and when he actually entered the order radius. The last couple topics I would like to discuss involve my.gurtam.com as well as our IoT Project of the Year competition. I know many of you frequently update my.gurtam.com with important information concerning your business or leads and end users, which we always appreciate. I also know some of you might never have logged in. If you haven't, please check it out, my.gurtam.com. This new update concerns the addition of an important field when creating or editing an end user, and that's the business sphere field. There's a large drop-down menu listed there featuring various categories and subcategories like agriculture, public utilities, construction, etc. If you click on the question mark next to business spheres, you'll find a detailed explanation of how to fill out this important field, as well as a description of the categories and subcategories. So please fill this information out for your end users when you have a few minutes. And this is the sign-in page. We'll sign in. This is a dummy account or one that was used for a trade show. So we see the various blocks of information here and an IoT Project of the Year, which I'll cover in a minute. And on the right-hand side in this one, you see offices, staff, dealers, end users, potential clients. So this end users, this is what I'm talking about. Let's create a new end user. And so you'll see all these fields pop up. And now if we scroll down, we have this new business sphere field. So it's a long list of categories and subcategories: general fleet, government and military, home and office, etc. If we click on this question mark, it'll take us to how to fill in this field, again with all the categories, subcategories, and their description. Finally, I want to mention our IoT Project of the Year competition. I know we've already received some fantastic submissions from many different countries. If you haven't submitted anything, however, there is still time as the deadline isn't until July 30th. The application is available in your My Gurtam portal as well as on the Gurtam blog. There is also a dedicated website at iot-award.gurtam.com. On August 13th, we'll have the winner's announcement and award ceremony, and on August 20th, the publication of the results. So why participate in this contest? Well, all the participants will get their share of attention during this competition. Gurtam is going to publish all the projects in the Gurtam use cases library in 2 languages. We will have a weekly mail, the news with the participants' projects. We'll tell all about the projects in offline and online Gurtam channels. The winners will get project publication on the Gurtam blog, exclusive interviews, PR in all Gurtam channels, participation in the online award ceremony, presents, and the right to use the winner title for their promo. If you have any questions about the competition or something specific in the application, please reach out to your partner manager. So that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for your time and also for being valued members of our global Wialon community. We appreciate every single one of you, and we are thankful to have so many incredible partners worldwide. Also, I want to thank my colleagues Kate and Coven for helping out with the questions today. And if there are any questions I missed, please feel free to reach out to me at a.nelson@gurtam.com. Likewise, if you have any other comments, suggestions, or concerns, please let me know. Thanks again, stay safe, and see you soon.